Welcome to Road Lines with the Broad, Babe, Riding Out a Dream. This show is sponsored by RidersClaw.com, NailMail.com, and CoolRiderGear.com. Now let's get this show revved up. Take it away, Ursula.
Thank you so much, Brother Todd. Peace, hugs, and pipes of rumble, people.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am very pleased to have with me today a very, very special dude to me for a number of reasons. Number one, he has a charity that actually helped me get my first two legs. And via another motorcycle friend in Illinois, somehow he knew about this gentleman and this gentleman's charity. And the more I got to know him and the more he helped me, I was inspired about his story, also being a motorcycle amputee, and then moving into starting this charity that helps amputees. And so today I want to welcome Steve Chamberland from 50legs.org. How are you, honey?
I'm awesome, beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm getting a new leg on Thursday, and I'm getting a new foot, so I'm really stoked. I'm excited.
Oh, my God. It must be nice. I buy legs for all these people, and I don't get new ones. What the hell's going on?
Hey, you should know people, man. I know people.
I know, right? I don't know. I think it'd be kind of weird. 50 Legs buy his own leg for himself. I don't know. I'd probably get some time for that.
I hear you. We'll have to start a Steve Chamberlain fundraiser, huh?
Oh, my God. I need a GoFundMe page for a leg. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, you know I get them. Stan hooks me up. But yeah,
Stan takes good care of you over at POA. As a matter of fact, he's on my callback list. He's supposed to do an interview, I think, next week. Yeah.
Awesome. Great
I'm
guy.
excited to hear from him. And now Stan from POA, the gentleman that Steve mentioned, is the founder of Prosthetic Orthotic Associates in Orlando, Florida. And in partnership with Steve's charity, 50legs.org, they are the professionals that put the legs together for the benefactors of Steve's charity. But Steve, before we get into that good stuff, in the pre-show I was telling you how you kind of fit two purposes of my project here. Number one, you're a motorcycle amputee. So can you tell us, Steve, what happened to your leg, first of all, and what is your degree of amputation?
On Memorial Day back in 1999, I was coming home from my uncle's house. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I had one of my old babysitter on the back of my bike. She wanted to go for a ride real bad. I just got my fat boy done up, all done, everything. Something like that happens, of course, after you have your bike done up.
Yeah.
So we were coming home from my uncle's house, and she's like, "This is the best day," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is awesome." And all of a sudden, when I come around this corner, literally, like I would say, it's less than 150 feet from where I got hit. I was coming around the corner, and it's a blind road coming out to me, and the guy cut the corner off and hit me. I kicked my leg out to protect myself, put my arms up, and my leg got stuck in his radiator. And it was ripped off at the scene. I didn't even know it was ripped off because I tried to get up to go after the guy, and I was like, "You mother!" I was cussing. I'm like, "I'm gonna break your neck." I was just going crazy. And I looked down. I don't see my leg, and I'm like, "Oh, I must have broke it because my jeans were still there." I slam my arms down. I look over, and I see it hanging from the grill.
Oh, Jesus.
So I remember everything. I remember getting lifeline. I remember the helicopter ride was the best ride ever. I remember the guy in the helicopter telling me, "Hey, man, technology's crazy." He goes, "I got your leg over here in the cooler. It's no 6-pack of beer, but, we'll probably have you up and running in a month." I was just like, it set my mind at ease. And then, and then they lifelined me to Boston. And second, as soon as we got, we're above the hospital, and he's like, "Man, I'm gonna give you a shot. They got to clean this out because the radiator fluid got stuck on my leg." So that's what happened to my leg, man. Crazy.
And how long ago was that, Steve? About 15 or so years?
1999. Wow. As you know, Ursula, you sit there. You're on your second year now. You see how fast it really goes, and you're like, where does time go?
Yeah, it does. It does, especially when you have the ability to get back up and get moving, and that is just a minuscule piece of what this program is about that I'm doing, this project I set myself up for, but is to educate people on all the different insides and outs of what an amputee goes through, and then joining it together with the love of motorcycling. Now, let me ask you this, Steve. 15 years ago this happened to you.
Yeah.
How long before you got back on a motorcycle?
Oh, my God. I didn't even have a leg yet. I was at when I come out of the hospital, I was in the hospital for 30 days because of the infection. So when I come out of the hospital, all my friends had a cookout, and my buddy had a Fat Boy, same bike I crashed on, literally on the 5th week. I sat on his bike, and you know me, Ursula. I get on it, and I started it up. I'm like, ooh, it feels good. So what do I do like a jackass? Put it in first gear, and up the road I went with no brake, no right brake foot. And then
I guess missing a brake is a little bit easier to take off than missing the clutch, of course.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, my life's a lot easier being on a bike. And it's like anything, Ursula. I mean, it's in your mind. It's how strong-minded you are. I believe. I see it so much. I see younger kids that I'm helping that don't know any better, so they get along better than most of the old adults. The adults, they're so whiny and complainy. Where sometimes it's just like, I got to take kids to show these people, like, this is life now. You got to get over it. When I get to, and a blessing is I see a lot of women now, like Celeste Cochran from the Boston bombing victims. I remember her last year, how she was in a funk thinking, what am I going to do about everything? Shower, sex. I mean, is anybody going to, it's just, it's thoughts that people never have to take. They don't have to think about it. All you freaks with 2 legs.
Right, exactly. And
I get a lot of, what I get a lot of questions on, Ursula, is your video you made of taking a shower. I think that was the best video you could have ever did to show people how shitty is. Just to take it, I always say how awesome it would be just to take a shower again as 2-legged people.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, now I should do a new updated shower video to show the improvement. It's interesting you said that, because now I've got this, I call it a leg condom. There's some name for it, but it's like this big, huge rubber sock comes all the way up over my...
Yeah. It's for a shower leg, yeah.
So I can stand in the shower like a 2-legged folks again. Of course, if I got to shave that leg or whatever, then, of course, I'm sitting on my feet in the shower. But, yeah, I mean, you and I do this every day. It's something that people don't think about, really. And, again, that's part of this project is telling people how it is. And, yeah, sure, we're able to get on and get moving. And now this is where we're going to tie in 50 legs, because something I've been kind of preaching, Steve, is that, now, of course, when I crashed, I didn't have health care, period. So I had separate issues. But even, and it sucks. I mean, a boatload of money out there. But anyway, even now that I have health care, I still have to pay my 20% of whatever my durable medical equipment costs me, which is what I'm looking at on Thursday. And sometimes people such as myself that didn't have health care, they might not be able to get up and get walking because they can't afford that leg. And without a charity like yours, that's where I would have been. I would have never been where I am today had I not gotten the financial assistance. And I'm not saying 50 Legs gave me money. They fronted the money to get the legs. And so, Steve, with that being said, I'd first like to ask you, how long has 50 Legs been in operation? And tell us where the vision for 50 Legs came from.
Well, I think it's almost 4 years now. This September will be 4 years. When it came about is I was going to do the Paralympics. And I was like, man, I got to do something, And me and Jimmy Hart, and Under Armour's opened a store in Georgia, and Greensboro, Georgia, they opened a new store. So they asked me, X-Pac, and Jimmy to come down there and sign autographs and go meet this little girl that just lost her legs. And I'm like, well, does she have insurance? And the guy says, no, they don't have anything. And I'm like, well, let me see what I can do. So I called the prosthetic company down here locally and said, hey, man, listen, this is what's going on. The girl's 11 years old. She pushed her sister out of the way. She almost got hit by a truck. The other sister saved the other sister. She was holding her hand, walking across to a school bus, and a big truck was coming down the road. And she actually pushed her sister. She got run over by a truck, lost her leg, broke her neck, broke her back. Just was the worst thing that ever could happen. She was on the Today Show, and she said, well, why did you push your sister? She goes, because my sister would have never survived. I mean, it's just one of those unselfish acts, you know what I mean?
Yeah. At 11 years old, that's awesome.
Well, you just, you don't know what you're capable of,
And so you got some folks together.
I got some folks together. Yeah, I got some folks together. And then, ironically, you remember Jimmy Hart?
Yeah.
The Mouth of the South. He goes like this. He saw me hand this girl the leg, and he looked at me and goes, Chamberland. I said, yes, sir. He goes, you found your calling. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, listen. He goes, look at your face when you handed this girl the leg. And it's funny, ironically, Ursula, I'm sure you get this a lot, amputees associate with other amputees because we understand the pain and suffering we go through. So we understand what people go through. So,
right.
It's funny. I mean, you see me with my kids, how close I am with the kids. It's just, and their parents always like, why you? I mean, it's just like, I think it's a bond we have with each other, knowing what the other one's suffering and pain we go through daily. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain with my leg a lot because I'm on it so much,
Right.
And then, it's just amazing. Like, you get to see the craziest things, But anyways, so Jimmy looked at me and says, man, you found what you got to do. So I went, you know what, brother? You're right on that. So that's when I started the charity. I jumped on it, and 50 Legs began.
That's awesome. And now, how many legs? Do you have a pretty good estimate how many legs you've given out?
Over 60 now. 60-something, I think like 68.
Now, now this is something I've been curious about because y'all helped me get 2 legs. And because my legs shrank and changed in shape so quickly, they were almost back to back. Now, does that 68 represent the number of people or the number of legs?
No.
No.
People.
Okay.
People.
All right. And so that's actually
if that's the case, then, oh, God, yeah. Well, we're way over that. I mean, honestly, I couldn't even give you a number then. Little Ireland Nugent, she's on number 3, and she's only been on amputee for 2 years. The lawnmower, the girl that got rid of by the lawnmower.
Yeah. And when the little people are worse because they grow so fast. They go through so many legs.
Well, and you know the story. I mean, here's the deal. I mean, a lot of prosthetic companies, most of the bigger ones, I look at it and I see what these people are about, and it drives me crazy because it's all money-driven, greed. That's why I affiliate with P.O.A. only. It's the only prosthetic company I will ever affiliate with because I know what they do. They'll never turn anybody down for finance reasons. It's just, and you've been there. You've seen the facility. There's nothing like it in the country. Nothing. There's no other. I mean, there's nothing like it nowhere. There might be an okay prosthetist there and there, but I promise you, I deal with the big companies, and it's not the same. I mean, you go there and you feel like you're at home.
Yeah, and I do like that about POA is that it's such a very huge, large, open, almost community room, but it's where we have the parallel bars and the different types of things that we have to do. So it's one huge room where everybody's together. So you're always talking to people while you're in between waiting. Now, the thing that I enjoyed or got spoiled about was dealing with you and 50 Legs and POA. I came for a whole week, and everything got done in a whole week. And I left. Yeah. And what I'm dealing with now, although I love my prosthetist, he's good.
Well, what happens is, what they do is they fit you, cast you, ship the cast out, have it, done. Now, just think, this just happened to somebody, one of my guys, right? It's just, it drives me crazy because, I mean, these companies tell this one kid, oh, yeah, we can get your leg. It's going to take you 3 months. 3 months? Who wants to wait 3 friggin' months to walk?
Right, yeah.
I mean, please.
I've been with that, yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. So, and that's why, I mean, I hate to be so prejudiced towards Stan, but nobody in the country does what he can turn around and do. Nobody. I don't care where it is. You may think they can do it, but they can't. I've been to the big companies.
Right, yeah, and I hear that story from different people that are going to the big box type of prosthetic places.
Yep.
Also, the VA, they give you pretty good medical equipment, but they take forever, kind of like what I'm dealing with. My equipment is good, but it's just like a process. You know, you deal with the insurance. You got to get the pre-approvals. Then you meet the person. Then you get cash for this. Then you come back later. And it's just such a long, drawn-out process. You know, so far I'm very happy, and I'm really excited about the new leg. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. And for me, like Stan even offered when I found out that POA wasn't in my health coverage, even out of network, which would cost me a few extra dollars, but I know I could go to my guy. Stan even offered to help me again. And I said, well, you know, that's awesome. I appreciate that, but there's somebody else out there that needs help worse than I do, and I've got insurance now. So, you know, they were willing to help me, even though I had the insurance and I was having an issue with insurance. They were still willing for me to come in there and get the right piece of equipment on my person. And so kudos to them for that. I didn't go back because of the insurance and my new location where I live and blah, 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 many reasons. But I will always talk so highly of them. And like I said, I'm hoping to have Stan on next week.
And when I see Stan and I see how well he's doing, I always tell him, I'm like, Stan, you know what? You deserve $10 million a year. You know why he deserves it? Because it's good money. They want the older people. They screw. I mean, they're fitting these guys before they even get goddamn fitted, before they leave the hospital, because they get that greed, that money, and these people don't know any better. So it's a network. So when you're in a hospital, the hospital is going to say, "Where do you want to?" I mean, I need a prostate. Oh, well, go to this one because it's in the network system. They don't really give a shit about you, which they don't. And I get real. You know how I really get upset and hurt that there's so many scumbags out there that, you know, it's not the hospital's decision to send you any way you want to go. It's not their decision. It's your decision. It's the individual's decision to make a decision. You know what? I do want to go to this prosthetic company because they're good. Check your I mean, I'm saying this out loud to everybody. I'm not saying everybody in the world needs to go to a Stan Patterson. I promise you that. What I'm saying is, if your leg hurts, your fit's bad, you get a second opinion because no prosthetic leg should ever hurt. Bottom line.
Right, absolutely. And I've learned that time and again from you guys, from Stan, from my new leg man. That's always what everybody has taught me. And so then I say that to other amputees that I'm communicating with, mostly on social media. Oh, I don't even bother to wear my leg because it hurts so bad.
Oh,
so
God, it drives me crazy.
You need to find a new prosthetic company. Yeah, I hear you, and I get that a lot. I know. You're very passionate, and, you know, it takes that kind of passion to do what you do, dude. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No. Listen, and I say this, and it sounds freaky to everybody, man, but I thank God. I'm a pretty religious guy, but I thank God every day this happened to me because I'm willing to, because I've reached out to you. I've helped you a little bit. Now look at you're doing. Now you're changing lives in your way. I mean, when people meet you, they're always like, the Broad, she's nuts. I'm like, she is sick and crazy as shit, but she's the best woman in the world. I mean, she's crazier than a $3 bill. You ain't shit, but she's the best person in the world.
Thank you for that, Steve. And, you know, it's kind of like what you said. We have a certain bond, a certain determination, and then, you know, just continuously paying it forward. It's no skin off your teeth, you know, to pay it forward. What's it going to hurt you? And, you know, like you said, you thank God every day that this happened because it's made you a better, stronger person. It's helped you do important things for people that needed your help. Like I said earlier, I don't think I would be where I am, nor would I have been able to accomplish what I did last year if it wasn't for 50 Legs helping me. I wouldn't have known where to turn. And with no health care and no cash money, I would have still been on crutches and a wheelchair. And I would not have traveled the country last year, and I would not be living in the mountains right now, and I would not be doing this project with my friend Steve. So, absolutely, it's just it's a wonderful circle, you know, above ground.
Hey, stop this shit. You're making me tear up. I don't like that.
No, we're done with all the crying, dude. But, yeah, I mean, and that's...
But you've definitely, you came a long way, dude. I ain't going to lie. You've came, like I am so proud to call you my friend. Not only because we're close as shit, but I've seen you, the good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I mean? I've seen you upset.
Yeah.
I've seen. I mean.
Yeah, and that's something that we as amputees understand. Yesterday, I talked to a couple who were in a motorcycle crash together. She had traumatic brain injury and could barely remember anything and hardly function for several months, and he lost his leg. It happened to them together, and so they fed upon each other's strengths and weaknesses because they understood what the other person was going through because they were going through it together. And so to have that, you know, the brotherhood of motorcyclists, of amputees, you know, there's just one brotherhood leads to another brotherhood if you're in the right neighborhood, you know. So that's what I'm believing in, and that's why I'm trying to kind of help people understand a little bit who these people are out there that help people like me do what I did.
I think it's great what you're doing, dude. I think it's amazing what you're doing. I mean, I got my buddy. You remember Danny? Remember Danny from up north, Lowell? Lost his leg. You remember him? Another motorcycle accident guy.
I'm not sure if I remember him.
He's
I'm not the military kid.
Oh shoot, Max. Oh yeah, Max is a good boy. Yeah, Max is all right. He's crazy, isn't he? He's nuts too, but I love him. But yeah, anyways, my buddy Danny, he's been with his wife for a while now, you know, 6-7 years or whatever. They're actually leaving each other because of his leg situation, and it's just he got to the point where he's like, I mean, it just bums me out, you know. She's like, I didn't sign up for this, you know. It's like, man, give the guy a chance. I mean, it's fresh. It's only 2 years. He's above the knee. It's a lot different than us below the knee, little paper cuts, as Celeste Cochran says.
Right.
I mean, he's just not the person he was. I mean, mentally or physically now, and it's just not, you know, it sucks. It sucks. It's like that, but I mean, some people can't handle it, you know.
Right, absolutely. I get that. And even for us, you know, other people can't handle it, but sometimes it's hard to handle yourself, you know. I'm still kind of new, only 19 months out for me, and every once in a while I'll pass the mirror when I don't have my prosthetic on and I think, holy crap, that's my body, or what's left of it. And, you know, we take it for granted, but then when it's taken from you and you see what you can do and the difference you can make in your own life, regardless of, you know, what you do for folks, what I do for folks, just to be able to have our lives back and to ride again, that piece of me, if nothing else existed, that piece of me would make me whole again.
Oh, God, yeah. Now, listen, you're still a sexy bitch, no legs, no arms, whatever. half a head, you're still sexy. It's all good, baby.
You're awesome. Well, Steve, I want to thank you so much. Now, real quick, I just want to say this clearly to our listening audience. It's 50legs.org. And on 50legs.org, there is a contribution area. You can see the stories of the people that 50 Legs has helped thus far. You can see the story about how it began. And there's also some information there if you know somebody that needs 50legs.org to assist them in getting their legs. There's also a link on there where you can apply for aid. Steve, before we wrap up, honey, is there, and I've been asking everybody that I interview, is there a particular message, a brief message that you would tell the world about living the life of an amputee?
Yeah, life goes on.
Absolutely.
Easiest message I can tell you guys, people that, you know, stop feeling bad for yourselves. Life goes on. You know, you're going to be, you know, I'm helping a football player out now, kid from St. Pete over here. Lost his leg playing football on a Friday night, 18-year-old kid, big boy, 300-something pounds, big boy.
I saw him in the news.
Yeah, well, you know, I see him, you know, and it's, you know, I have faith, but, you know, you can only, what is that saying, Ursula? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it.
That's right, yeah, you got to have faith in yourself, too.
He's got all the tools. He's got all the tools, you know, he just got a new leg, he's got all the tools, but, you know, mentally you got to be ready to, you know, get rid of that walker and step, and, you know, you got to be a grown-ass man, you know,
Right.
You know, fortunately, as you see, I'm sure you see it all the time. There's people that, you know, get, you know, they want to sit in that devil's chair for the rest of their lives because that's all they know and they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, and it takes a while. I can understand that young man's resistance to change, I guess we'll call it. I can get where he's coming from because, God, it was months and months. I think I even called you on the phone crying.
You had the crutches. You were like, I remember.
And I just,
but
I didn't know what life was going to be. Life couldn't possibly be decent like this. And then look at what I did last year. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Look at you. Hey, I had your crazy ass on the back of my bike, rubbing your stump against me.
What the
hell, you weirdo?
Holding up
what the hell? Who does that?
And
hey,
you know
listen,
what? It's funny. My son gave me a digital picture frame for Christmas, and he preloaded it with some photos that he swiped off my Facebook. And the picture of you and I at the Christmas parade, and with Spider-Man Bobby, those pictures he loaded in there.
God.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
So I see you guys.
I
see you guys on my dining table every evening I eat.
I love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's
well,
freaking awesome.
Thank you so much, honey, for taking the time to talk to me and for being a part of this project. And as soon as I've got the video started on the channel I've set up, I got some editing and such to do, like I was telling you in the pre-show. But the second I've got the link for it, I will zip it over to you.
Okay. And then Ursula, don't forget, I mean, if you ever come across, men or anybody that needs to talk, I mean, also, you can always get my number to anybody. I'm good like that. That don't bother me at all. I'm like you, I'm willing to talk to anybody. If a guy has a problem that doesn't want to talk to a woman or whatever, I mean, just call. I'm willing to talk to anybody,
Sure, you got it, man. And anytime I get the chance to talk about Steve or 50 Legs or POA, I do, because I believe in all of you. So thank you for that.
I love you, and I love you for what you're doing. I love the woman you've become. I mean, you were already a badass, doing what you do and what you were doing, driving around the country and, doing it with one leg now. Just, I think your story gets a little bit better than just the average chick driving around. I think it's cool.
Thank you.
I just think I idolize you for doing what you're doing. I wish to God I, had the balls to say, you know what, I'm going to take my life, go across the country, and just do what I got to do, man. That's just
see what happens.
I think, see where I end up tomorrow.
Yep. All right, my dear.
I love you.
All right, take care. Hey, tell Sean I said hi, and I send my regards.
I will, baby. Love you.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Before ending this particular episode of the Amped Writer Project, I just want to give another thank you to my family, my friends, social media followers, the folks that have participated in this particular project, and to any of you out there that might just happen upon this series online. Without the support and encouragement of said people, there's no way I'd be where I am today. These people have lifted me up, encouraged me, told me that I could accomplish whatever I wanted, and I did. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you. God bless. I want to wish everybody out there peace, hugs, and whatever makes your soul rumble.
For all things Broad, visit hdbroad.com. Road Lines and the Broad are sponsored by writersclaw.com, nailmail.com, and coolwritergear.com. And remember, the Broad, B.R.O.A.D, Writing Out a Dream, and Peace and Hugs and Pipes That Rumble are trademarked and not available for use or copy.